Alright, so guys, for the value scale at the bottom, okay, I actually have a couple little things I need to still fix up on my color wheel. I just need to let some of the paint dry so I can go back over it. But what I'm going to do now is the value scale at the bottom, so I might as well use my time. So if you guys look, you've got your tenths, which is color plus white over here on the left. You have your pure color here in the middle, and you have all your shades over here on the end, which is any color plus black. So you need to pick a color to base this value scale on. My recommendation is to use either blue or actually red. I don't recommend yellow because when you mix yellow and black together, you actually get green tones. And the reason why is because when a lot of companies manufacture black, they use high concentrated volumes of blue to make black. So I wouldn't recommend trying to make shades of yellow. So I would choose either red or blue, okay? And the reason why I would go with those two rather than like picking violet or green or orange is because I'd have to make those secondary colors before I could start this. So it saves me time if I just choose either blue or red. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use blue because I have blue left on here on my plate. And I'm just going to start by painting in my blue or the pure color, which is right here, this square that's in the middle. Again, remember when you're painting, start in the middle of the shape and then work your way, kind of push the paint to the outside edge. That's how you can keep everything nice and neat and just control it. And like anything else, craftsmanship is everything. I'm having a hard time because I can't turn my paper. And again, I'll probably go back over this layer of blue just to make it real opaque. It's not bad, but it could be better. So paint that shape in. And again, I'd recommend either using blue or red. I would steer clear of the secondary colors because you have to mix those. Alright, so I've got my blue down, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do, what do you think I'm going to do next? If you look. What am I going to paint first?
White and black.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and paint in my white and black shapes. So again, I don't have to do any mixing. My piles haven't been messed up. So I'm going to go ahead and paint those in. And again, I'll probably go back over these just to make them really opaque. Even the white. And guys, make sure you do paint in the white. Don't just leave it alone. Okay, I'll switch and paint in my black. So basically I have my middle, the middle of my scale, and I have the two extremes. I have my lightest and my darkest. So what I need to do after I get this black painted in is I need to start working on what happens in the middle. Okay. So I got that now. All right, so I'm going to start with my tints. Since I'm right-handed, I'm going to start over on the left side. So that way I don't drag my hand through wet paint. All right, so to do this, okay, what I'm going to do, and if you guys look at the worksheet, it says white plus one color. What do you think that means? One scoop of the color. Yes. So, but in this situation, I'm going to start with probably two or three scoops of the white, and then I'm just going to put in like one small dab of the color, because remember, that darker color is going to make a huge change to my paint color, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some of this white off the side, and I'm going to start with, let me see here, I'm going to start with 2. Actually, I'm going to do 3. Because I'm going to keep adding this to this paint. So I'm going to start with 3 scoops of white, and then I'm going to go in here into my blue, and I'm just going to start with, and again I'm going to grab it from the side, just a small amount of blue, because again that's the darker color, so it's going to make the biggest change. And then I'm going to mix that in with this pile, and you can see just how much that changed that. That was 3 scoops of white and just one small, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see, and one small dab of the blue. So now I've got this really nice light blue. I'm going to paint that on. Yep. Make sure that there's enough change between that color and the white, and then I'm going to paint it in here. What do you think I'm going to do for the next one where it says white plus 2 color? Yeah. So now what I'm going to, after I'm ready or finished with this one, then I'm going to add another dab of that blue into my pile, and it should get darker. And I should see this scale start to develop. Now again, if you have any questions as far as, if your mixture is the right mixture, compare it to the one that I have up on the board. Remember to keep your brush as dry as you can. So I'm ready for the white plus 2 color. So now what I'm going to do is go back into my blue. So I'm going to go back into my blue, just grab it from the outside here. Got a little bit on the tip of my brush. And now I'm going to add it to this pile that I already have been working on. And I want to see enough change from the tint that I made before, and I don't think I have enough change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another dab of the blue in here. So, you are following those instructions, but it's not giving you the result that you need. You need to go back and add more. That looks better, I think. Paint that on. Yep. So a lot of times you don't see if it works until you paint it down. So I did end up needing to put a little bit more than 2 dabs of color in there, so I went to 3. All right, so for the shade side, it says color plus 1 black. So what do you think that means? What do I start with?
Your color and then add a little bit of color.
All right, so I'm going to start with my color first. And I'm running out of room on my palette, but I'm going to get creative here. So I am going to start with probably, I'll go ahead and do 3 scoops of the blue like I started with white. So 3 scoops of the blue, and then I'm going to go in with the black. Start with just a small amount, okay? So just got a little amount on this brush. And then I'm going to mix that in my pile. Now, black is the color, again, this is the darkest color that we have. So it's going to make the biggest change. So be careful that you don't start with too much. So again, I'm looking for a little change here in the color. And since I am working with blue, blue's the darkest, like one of the darkest cool tones, so I might need to add another scoop of black. I'm going to try another scoop of black and see what that does. Alright, I like that better. Alright, so then what I'm going to do, I'm going to paint that down. Once I'm finished with this, then I can do the next one. So the next one should be getting darker. Now I will tell you, if you choose blue as your color, you'll notice that overall, just blue being so dark, this shade side gets real dark. Alright, so there's my first one. And it is kind of hard to see on the screen. I think the light, and because it's wet too, it's getting a lot of glare on it. So now to do my next one, I'm going to add more black to it. And again, I want to see enough change to make it work. And I probably have to put another one in there. I'm going to go with another one. Alright, so I think I've got it now. And I'm going to paint this one in. I probably need to do another coat of this one, I think. So I'm going to have to let it dry. Yep, I'm going to have to let it dry. So there you go. So I'm going to let that one dry, and then I'll put another coat on it, but then it should be done. That's how you do your value scale at the bottom.